In this lesson, we're going to look at passing objects. We're going to look at how to pass here a bank account. So we're going to briefly run through the bank account class. So a bank account has a field of a balance. We have two constructors. One is no parameter, so it sets the balance to 0. One receives one parameter, sets that balance to that parameter. We have a accessor method, get balance, returns the balance. Withdraw receives a parameter, withdraw, subtracts the balance by that withdrawal, and if the balance is less than 0, it will take a penalty of $25. And then has a deposit method, which takes a parameter and increases the balance by that parameter. So that's the bank account class. Let's look at how we pass this, how we pass objects. So when an object is passed as a parameter, it is passed by value. Now, most people think it's passed by reference, but there is no such thing in Java. Instead, what is passed is a copy to the original reference. So if we change the object in a method, this changes the original object sent as a parameter, but if we change the reference, it does not change the original object. So let's create some bank accounts. So bank account B1 is equal to new bank account 500. Bank account B2 is also 500. And bank account 3 is equal to bank account 1. Now, we're going to demonstrate here, this if statement will demonstrate bank 1 and bank 2 are different objects. Even though they have the same balance, they're different objects. So if B1 equals B2, it'll print they're the same. This will show that B1 and B3 refer to the same objects. Even though they have different names, one is B1, one is B3, they are actually referring to the same object. So this doesn't print because that if statement's false. This will print because that is true. Let's check this real quick. Let's run it. See, B1 and B3 are the same. But it did not print B1 and B2 are the same. So B1 and B3 are references to the same object. So any changes I make to B1 also affects B3 as they're referring to the same object. So look, I'm going to deposit to B1, and then I'm going to print out B3. So since they're referring to the same object, that increases the same. And look, B3's balance is 750. Now, if I send B1 to a method, it sends a copy of the original reference. This means I will have 3 references to the same object, B1, B3, and whenever I call the parameter in the method. So I'm just going to print out that I'm doing a doStuff method. I'm going to send B1 to do stuff. I'm going to print out the balance of B1 and the balance of B3. Now remember, B1 and B3 are the same, so that should print the same. Now let's look at our doStuff method. Public static void doStuff receives a bank account. Now notice, this is called B. So B1, and B3 all referring to the same bank account. So this B.withdraw34 affects the object that all of them are referring to. So when I print out B's balance, it'll print the same thing these two are printing out. Let's look at that. True 34, and you can see they are all printing 716. But if I change the reference in a method, it will no longer change the object as it's referring to a different object. So I call doStuff method 2. doStuff2, I send it B1. Now again here, B1 and B3 will be printing off the same thing because B1 and B3 are referring to the same object. And doStuff2, B right now is referring to the same thing as B1 and B3. But look, I changed its reference. I set it equal to a new bank account. So I changed to B is referring to. So when I print this out, it's going to print 100. But these are back at their old value of 713, 7 something like that. So let's look at what it is. 716. So B's balance is 100, but B1 and B3 did not change. So remember, when you send an object to a method, they're sending a copy of the original reference. You're not sending a reference because in Java, everything is passed by value. And that is the end of this lesson.